I'm sitting with one of my favorite people in the world, a dear friend, New York Times bestselling author Andy Andrews, who wrote The Noticer, The Traveler's Gift, and now, How Do You Kill 11 Million People? That's the title of the book. Where did you come up with that?
It was actually a question that had been in my mind for a long time. I'm really interested in history. I'm really interested in bringing people together, and I know that title that you think, well, that sounds very odd.
Nothing like a big killing to bring people together.
Right. Well, and obviously, Mike, you know, I see things differently. I'm kind of a noticer. This is what I do. And while everybody else thinks about the methods employed to kill them or the crazy people that did the killing, to me, I'm thinking, how do you get 11 million people to let themselves be killed?
Yeah.
So how, year after year, do you get 11 million intelligent people to load themselves on boxcars and be taken to gas camps? How do 11 million people act docile while you're doing that?
And why was that such an important question to you now, at this point in our history?
Is it possible to write something that does not say Republican or Democrat, doesn't say liberal or conservative, and yet every single person who read it would agree with it?
Wow.
And the answer to that question, how do you kill 11 million people, when I finally figured out what it was, it is so stunning that it took me a while to pull the material together. And I'll tell you what the answer is. The answer is you lie to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the answer is. You lie to them. And so in this very short book, it may take you 15 minutes to read this, but I laid out the methods used. And of course the challenge, the parallel that we make, is the people who are lying to us today.
Yeah. Who is lying to us today?
Frankly, I think to a great degree both sides.
Yeah.
I think that we have devolved into a little bit of a society where politicians believe that to get elected, they got to tell people what they want to hear. Not the truth, just what they want to hear. And so I think we have a lot of politicians that rationalize, I will lie in order to get in and do something good. And a lot of it happens because we look and we say, well, what's in it for me? Mm-hmm. And so this is why even today, the American people, sometimes we're easily duped because we believe what somebody tells us that sounds good for us. And I wanted something that people could give to their mama, give to their daddy, give to their kids, that they may not see eye to eye, but they would love to see eye to eye. Because I really believe, don't you believe that the one thing everybody would agree about is, if you go to somebody and say, do you think we should tell the truth? Do you think politicians should tell the truth? Well, absolutely. That's one thing we agree on.
So this is not a book that has a Republican agenda or a Democratic agenda. You're trying to transcend all that and take the conversation to a completely different level.
Frankly, if we don't transcend this, we're in big trouble. And so, I as I wrote it though, it did kind of strike me that several times I thought, now when I say that, those guys are going to think I'm talking about him. And when I say that, those guys are going to think I'm talking about him.
Yeah.
There is one curious little statement in there that I found that Hitler said that when he was talking with the common neighborhoods, that he talked to them about redistribution of wealth. And so I almost, I looked for other ways of saying that, and I almost took that out because I thought, wow, one of our guys really said that, and I finally decided, obviously I don't mention any current politician, but I decided to leave it in there because it's what Hitler really said.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out another way to say it.
Wow. Well, thanks for coming by today and talking about this book, and it's called How Do You Kill 11 Million People? It's a book you're going to want to read and give it away to everybody you love, including your neighbors, all your friends, everybody that you work with. And I hope we sell a zillion copies. And more importantly, I hope we really change some hearts and reclaim this idea of truth.
I really believe that families can be, I know this sounds odd, but I believe families can be brought together when they find something they agree on. Well, do we agree that is a standard for us being led?
Yeah.
I mean, shouldn't our leaders tell the truth?
What's more basic than that?
If our society would stop and realize that some of the biggest problems that happen to businessmen, to families, to sports figures do not happen because of the event. They happen because of the lie. Over and over again, we see in our society, it is not the event, because many times the event could be taken and say, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. Oh my gosh, I have really made a tragic choice. I'm so sorry. Will you please forgive me for this? And people would. But when you lie about it and lie about it and lie about it, over and over again, we see it's the lie that causes the trouble.
So true. Thanks for stopping by.
You got it, buddy.
Great to be with you.
You got it. Thank you.